شكرا يا ربي شكرا هديت قلبي شكرا نورت دربي شكرا.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Zaid Muhammad from Community Welfare Federation Media Unit from the state of Qatar. Tonight we have Dr. Jawahir from Mudur, Sri Lanka, working as a family consultant in Hamad Medical Center. Welcome, Doctor. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
How are you doing today, Doctor?
Alhamdulillah, fine.
Hence, we are expecting Ramadan and we are welcoming Ramadan. And I would like to, list down some questions on behalf of my beloved brothers and sisters in the society to help them with some health and medicinal benefits.
Certainly.
How does fasting psychologically as well physiologically help a person?
Yes, it's a very good question. Basically, the fasting, there are lots of scientific research out there to support fasting. But Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and our religion, emphasizes like more than 1,400 years. The fasting which we are doing is a long fasting, but the scientists talk about 8 hours fasting. The longer fasting, the longer you fast, is the better you get in terms of physical and medical benefits. If you fast more than 8 hours a day, then your stored sugar and stored your circulatory cholesterol will be used in the for the body daily usage. So extra sugar will go down, cholesterol will go down. Finally, it burn out all the fat from the body. So you will lose your body weight. So in terms of you're talking about body weight loss, that means you are losing your weight. That means you will have a better control of your sugar, better control of your blood pressure, and also you will have a good health, basically, in terms of your risk factors for developing other diseases which is related to the the obesity and the weight. So this is one of the major benefits. Other than that, there is something which we need to mention is currently is a trend. Lots of doctors talking about it. The longer you fast, it will create an environment. Our inside immunity system, it develop or it regenerate immune cells. The immune cells means that these are the cells which produce immunity against the illnesses. So the resistance against the illness, resistant against the infection. So our body will get stronger against the infection and illness. So ultimately, when you fast, end of your 30-day fast, your body weight is reduced, your cholesterol will be reduced, your immunity will be increased. So overall, everything is beneficial.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for that. And I would like to further break down the question. Hence, we have so many health issues in the society. How fasting impacts diabetes patients? Since we have 2 types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2, how does this fasting make impact on that?
As you mentioned, the type 1 diabetes, people who are suffering type 1, they require insulin.
Means insulin dependent?
Insulin dependent diabetes.
All right.
They require insulin for body functions. Similarly, type 2 diabetic, they have insulin, but the insulin is not working. We call it insulin resistance. So type 1 insulin, the patients, they will be on insulin treatment. Type 2 diabetic people, they will be on a tablet. Some of the type 2 patients also receives insulin. So these people should be very careful. when you fast. Ideally, if you are uncontrolled diabetes, that means you are getting more frequent hypoglycemic attack, which is a low sugar more frequently, or hyperglycemic attack with DKA, we call it a diabetic ketoacidosis. These are the terms which use. These people are not stable, they are not controlled, their diabetes is not very well controlled. So they should be careful when they fast. Better not to fast.
So it's not recommended for type 1?
Type 1 unless they are very stable.
All right, doctor.
If the type 2 diabetes, of course, is recommended, you can fast, but you need to have a one-to-one consultation with your doctor and adjust your medication. There are lots of medication out there. You can have a daily medication, you can have a morning and evening medication which you can take suhoor and iftar. So there are lots of options available. So they should contact the doctor and have a one-to-one consultation and plan their medical condition in order to fast properly. If you don't, there are complications during the fasting in terms of diabetic patient. They have a hypo, they have a hyper, that is a low sugar, and a high sugar they can get during fasting.
All right.
On top of that,
Yeah.
because they are getting the dehydration, there are high chance they get the clot in the veins
All right.
and a clot in the lungs. So the thrombosis, we call it, a chance of thrombosis is high. So these people should be very careful when they fast. So you need to have a medical advice.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And in regard to consumption of antibiotic pills, what would be the best advice you can give to our beloved brothers and sisters in the society?
Yes, antibiotic is one of the medication which are required, when the people are really ill. Basically in terms of they're having a bacterial infection. Of course, if they are ill with the viral infection, you don't need an antibiotic. With the other infection, you don't need it. But bacterial infection, of course, you need antibiotic. But there are antibiotic which daily dose.
Yes.
There are antibiotic you can have it twice daily. So when you take antibiotic, or when you receive a prescription, make sure you speak to your doctor and say, I'm a Muslim, I'm fasting. And so could you please prescribe according to. So doctors are well aware, especially in Qatar, well aware. Everybody have just before the Ramadan, every doctors have a bit of awareness of how to adjust the medication in terms of high blood pressure medicine, diabetic medicine, in terms of prescribing an antibiotic. They're all well aware. So what your duty is just to mention.
Just to mention. And consult the doctors
Certainly.
prior to fast.
Certainly.
And the lactating mothers, the breastfeeding mothers, how does fasting make impact in them?
The lactating mother is a depend on. Some of the is a depend on the age of the child. Say for example, just newborn or less than 1 year old, they need a more frequent feeding. But over 1 year old, they don't have that much of feeding because they have other supplementary food, which is solid food or other milk powder. So they have some supplementary food. So those mothers, of course, during the fasting hours, they can avoid breastfeeding and they can finish their fasting, and then the evening they can feed. But in terms of very young babies, the mother need to feed. Every time the mother feed, they will naturally have thirst. They will naturally dehydrate. So these mothers better not to fast. The medically not advisable. The reason why, they are fasting for 12 to 13 hours or maybe 14 hours. They are not taking any fluid, not taking any water. At the same time, by giving the milk, they are taking the dehydration on board. So it's a double dehydration. So it is not advisable if you are frequently feeding the child. So my best advice, consult a doctor, and if it's a very young child, better not to fast.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Sorry for the consecutive and rapid questions, because since
No
we
problem.
have a very short time. How does fasting make impact in patients who are having cholesterol issues?
Yeah, it's a good question. As I said earlier on, is one of the benefits you get fasting. It's breakdown of extra fat from your body, and also extra usage of the cholesterol, which is already on the circulation. It can be used for body functions. So naturally the cholesterol will go down. But it doesn't mean you should not take cholesterol tablet. So if you are trying to stopping your statin, which is a tablet at night time you should take, you should always consult your doctor. You don't know how much of cholesterol you have, and whether really your cholesterol medication is important for you. Some of the cholesterol is a familial cholesterolemia. That means they don't have the enzyme which break down the cholesterol. So those people, they should not stop the medication even they are fasting.
All right.
So it's very important, you should consult your doctor and get a one-to-one advice what type of cholesterol you have, whether it's a familial high cholesterol or is a normal, obesity related high cholesterol, or what time you take the medicine, because ideally non-fasting time, non-Ramadan time, they normally take just before the bedtime. But in here, you have a iftar, you have a suhoor. So you need to consult the doctor what time is the best time for you to take it. So the best time is, you can continue the certain, say for example, if you are taking at night time, around 10 o'clock or something after Tarawih, my advice will be continue that.
Thank you so much, Doctor. These days we have a habit, especially in the state of Gulf, that we consume a lot of fizzy drinks, especially the carbonated drinks, as well drinks with caffeine. Let's say what Doctor advises us for that. Caffeine
related fizzy drink is all very
harmful to the body.
Harmful during the fasting time. There are few reasons you can tell. The caffeine acts as a diuretics. Diuretics means it increases the water depletion. Water, say it's a loss of water will come through the urine.
All right.
So it's dehydrate you more. Same time, the fizzy drink, the fizzy carbonated water, it also not good for your stomach, because especially we see people take the fizzy drinks during iftar time. The whole day you are fasting, whole day your stomach is empty, whole day your stomach have a full of acid. If you take a fizzy drink at that particular time, then it will harmful for your stomach.
Yes.
And also these fizzy drinks have a high amount of sugar. It will increase the sudden, the sugar level high. It shoot that sugar level high. So the body won't cope, your insulin level won't cope. So these things are better to avoid. In a longer run, if you do that, it will harm for your body.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much. And although we know that fizzy drinks can cause a lot of harm to the body, especially in the month of Ramadan when we consume after prayers, especially after Maghrib prayer, soon after breaking fast. How can they manage, Doctor? How can they manage the consumption of these fizzy drinks and the carbonated drinks, since we are not able to give up immediately?
So my advice would be, if you are really keen, if you are really consciously want to stop, better use the Ramadan to stop it fully.
It's better, it's the right time to stop that one.
But if you can't, reduce the amount gradually.
All right, Doctor.
But make sure, if you are drinking fizzy drink, in between the iftar and suhoor, make sure you drink plenty of water. If you go to the Hamad website, Ramadan Health Guide, you will see they have clearly written that you should consume 8 to 10 cup of water every night in between the iftar and the suhoor. Just a measurement, but as much as you drink is better for you.
Is there something like overconsumption of water during Ramadan? And in general, the doctors advise that an ordinary person should consume about 3 liters of water per day. So is that advisable during Ramadan, that the same amount of water should be consumed?
Better you drink as much as you can, but generally speaking, lots of people can consume between 1.5 to 2 liter of water during that time. But you have to make an effort. You need to think that the whole day I haven't drunk enough, and your kidney is dehydrated already. You need to provide enough water to kidney, because in a Gulf country you are fasting in a hot sun. It's a hot weather. You are not going to be out in a hot sun, but the warm humidity, it will dehydrate you. Not only you are drinking, and also you are losing water from your body. So you must make sure you drink plenty of water to rehydrate your kidney.
Thank you so much, doctor. And in the case of Gulf, we consume a lot of oily food on daily basis. So when it comes to Ramadan, we are not able to really give up. So soon after breaking fast, we used to consume a lot of fried food, especially the samosa. There is no iftar without samosa, and it has become a habitual eating. So what would be the best advice for the people who are really consuming a lot of oily food, doctor?
So my best advice would be, if you talk about a food during Ramadan, you had to talk about the suhoor as well, and also the iftar. Well, let's start with the iftar. The iftar, you are having a food after 12, 13, 14 hours of fasting. So these hours your stomach is empty, loss of acidity in the stomach. Better not to eat any spicy food.
Soon after breaking fast.
During the iftar time. And also no oily food, no fried food. The much you avoid is better for your stomach. The food you choose, or whatever the food you are choosing, you should make sure it is not oily or fried, and also easy digestible. Some of the food I can suggest you, like a porridge, the back home porridge, is one of the easy digestion food. It's not oily. If you want to eat samosa, rather than the frying, you bake it, because the frying samosa contains 250 kilocalorie, but the baked samosa you get only 125 kilocalorie. Almost half the kilocalorie.
Yes.
At the same time, add some roti is good. And sometimes milk rice, back home kiribat. This is also one of the good things to breaking fast.
All right.
But at the same time, suhoor. A suhoor food will be, ideally speaking, it should be high fiber diet and a slow releasing diet. The energy, slowly digestive food. These are like oats, wholemeal bread, red rice, and egg, chicken. These are some of the food. It gives a good high fiber and also slowly digesting food. So it's throughout the day, it gives energy to your body and it won't harm your body. But make sure you are not eating spicy and oily food at the suhoor time, and make sure don't eat full stomach. In terms of suhoor, the suhoor is the best and is very important and is a sunnah, but make sure we should consume the food which help for your stomach for throughout the day. Because our recommendation is a high fiber diet and a slowly digesting food, which we mention like wholemeal bread, and red rice, and cereals, oats, you name it, and eggs, chicken. These are slowly digestive food.
All right.
But you shouldn't eat full stomach.
True that.
Yeah, and top of that is, I said before, we have a habits of drinking tea after food in the suhoor time.
Especially during the suhoor time, yes.
It's a habit. It's a back home habits, and we are continuing. But we must understand one thing is all the tea has tannin, which act as a diuretics.
Yeah.
Again, it's diuretic means it increase the urine output. The urine will come out. When the urine come out, you will get dehydrated.
Yeah.
So easily you get tired. So you'll be dehydrated early in the morning if you drink. So better avoid this kind of coffee or tea at suhoor time.
Actually, I had friends around me, doctor, who say there is no suhoor without a cup of chai. So this could be the best piece of advice for them to give up the habit of chai. And thank you so much, doctor. And during the past couple of months and years, we've been seeing in the society that we had some issues of cardiac arrest. In other words, it's known as the heart attack. How can Ramadan, especially the fasting, help a person who is facing heart issues, doctor?
The general advice during month of fast, if you have an unstable heart, which is like heart attack symptoms who are coming, we call it unstable angina.
Yeah.
Those patients not to fast.
Not to fast.
Because simply because they will get dehydrated, the heart rate will be up, and they will get angina pain more. Similarly, the people who have weak heart failure, they will get shortness of breath, like a difficulty in breathing. So if they are very symptomatic, if they have become unwell, better not to fast. But otherwise, a stable patient, like you had a heart attack in the past and you are not having any symptoms, any like a chest pain symptoms, no harm fasting.
All right.
Similarly, the high blood pressure patients. The high blood pressure, the fasting sometimes helps for high blood pressure, because you are not drinking enough water during fasting, and it's reduced the blood pressure. My best piece of advice, if the high blood pressure patients fasting, you should consult the doctor to adjust the medicine.
Okay.
Because some of the high blood pressure patients are one medicine, some of them two, some of them three, some people four. If you are taking more medicine, some medicine in terms of managing high blood pressure are diuretics medicine. That means the medicine is given to deplete the water, take the water out from your body via urine, through the urine, and that reduces the blood pressure. If the people are on diuretic medicine to control the blood pressure, they must consult the doctor and whether they can adjust the medicine before they fast.
Thank you so much, doctor. These days, thyroidism has become the most common thing found in women. The hyperthyroidism and the hypothyroidism. How can, hence the women are advised to consume a lot of salt, doctor, especially for thyroid issues. How can fasting make an impact in them for thyroid patients?
Thyroids, lots of patients have underthyroid, underactive thyroid,
okay.
hypothyroid.
Hypothyroidism, okay.
So they normally take thyroxine. Thyroxine dosage is a once daily dose.
Okay. It's mandatory to take a...
Yeah, it's a mandatory take. They should take every day, and it's not bothering the fasting hours.
So it's not going to make any impact in the fasting? Okay.
Yeah. So thyroid patients, if they are generally okay, they should fast.
Thank you so much, doctor. And I would like to really raise a final and most commonly asked question in the society, especially by youngsters, doctor, these days. They have a habit of working out. They have a habit of doing exercise, especially aerobic exercises, cardio. So during Ramadan, should they completely stop the exercises, the workouts, or is it okay to continue at nights?
I won't recommend to stop exercising.
All right. No.
But I will recommend stop exercising during fasting.
During fasting, but it's okay to do the exercise at night.
Yes. Majority of the doctors advise to the patients continue exercise,
Yeah.
but after fasting,
Yes.
that is after iftar,
After breaking the fast. Okay.
after breaking the fast,
Yeah.
but 2 hours after food.
All right. Okay.
So if you calculate the time,
Yeah.
that means literally you're talking about after Isha or after Tarawih.
Yeah.
You can take half an hour, 1 hour for your, the exercise, no harm. Sometimes people engage in sports like badminton or tennis or some kind of sports. I think they should not stop during Ramadan.
Yeah.
They should continue that.
Yeah.
But make sure that it doesn't stop, it doesn't disturb the prayers or
Yeah, that
other
is
ibadah during the
true.
fasting.
Yes. And thank you. In addition to that, doctor, especially during workouts, we used to consume protein supplements. Does protein supplement cause any different or any harmful effect in kidneys during Ramadan? Hence, we are throughout the day empty stomach.
It doesn't cause anything on the stomach level,
Yeah.
but high proteins are generally not advisable during fasting.
All right.
Because if you are eating or drinking high protein, it breaks down into ammonia.
Yeah.
Ammonia is a waste product which excrete, which come out through the kidney.
All right.
So you are giving kidney a lot of work during the Ramadan.
Okay.
Already kidney is working hard because of the fasting,
Yes.
because he is not drinking, or he or she is not drinking enough.
Enough water.
So, and on top of that, you are giving enough trouble taking high proteins, which break down into amino acids, and end product will be ammonia.
Yeah.
So better avoid.
So it's recommended to avoid protein consumption, especially the supplements. But it's recommended to continue your workouts like 30 to 45 minutes on daily basis,
Yes.
at night especially. Thank you so much, doctor, for joining us and giving us your precious time. And dear viewers, please, if you have any questions, please get in touch with us via WhatsApp as well, like our Facebook page. Please don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you so much.